Warning: the following podcast contains violent scenes that may be unsettling to some listeners. Listener discretion is advised. In the fall of 1987, four men find themselves reunited with childhood friends for the first time in 10 years. They are drawn together by the mysterious death of a mentor they all cared for together as children. World of Darkness: The Ultimate Evil is a first edition Chronicles of Darkness game that takes place in Bismarck, North Dakota, and is inspired by the Satanic Panic of the 1980s. Remembrance is the first story arc that follows Alex, played by Adam B., Wayne, played by Adam C., Che, played by Andrew, and Michael, played by Slavic, as they discover the mysteries that surround them in their hometown. If you would like to contact us, you can reach us on Twitter at twin_cities_VTM or on Facebook at Twin Cities by Night. We hope you enjoy.
Adam, you want to tell us about your character and what he was like as a kid?
Sure thing. All right. So my character's name is Wayne Coleman. He lives with his family. They're pretty average middle class. His dad is kind of like a conservative Christian type of guy, and he's just like a general troublemaker. He skips school a lot, smokes marijuana. He's been in trouble for vandalism. And his father kind of sees his troublemaking behavior, like long hair, rock music, as like a sign of maybe like evil is winning him over. So he signs him up for this summer program here. That's where he meets the other boys and where he meets Amanda.
Oh, right. So what was the impact that Amanda had on his life?
Well, his parents, well, his dad especially, was like pretty harsh on him and kind of belittled him a little bit. Told him he wouldn't amount to anything if he like continued like with the behaviors that he had. Amanda was somebody who encouraged him to be creative. She kind of made him feel like he had potential. She saw his potential.
Exactly. Like what his dad basically be too strung up on the listening to Kiss and Black Sabbath and everything, and didn't see the good side of his son.
Yeah, exactly.
God. So and we talked about this, and for people who haven't, they can seen this. They can see it in the first session. We talked about a scene where Amanda Porter, who is a summer count or is like the counselor for this group of boys. I mean, there's other groups, but like kind of the 12 to 14-year-old boys and potentially girls, depending on if there's any that join the game later on. She was confronted by three people like towards the end of that summer, because she was eventually she eventually moved with her fiance to Stanford, where he was going to school, and she ended up being murdered like 3 months later there, pretty brutally. So there's a scene though where like the boys were helping her, like stayed later, would help her mainly because they enjoyed being around her for one reason or another. And they kind of were 50 yards away on their bikes getting ready to leave when they saw her at her car be confronted by three people. One was a blonde-haired guy. I'm just going to quickly describe him again, who kind of had hair that went down to the back of his neck a little bit, kind of cut in the like the bowl type fashion that was all the fad in the mid 70s there. Another guy who had very dark black hair, black handlebar mustache, kind of bigger. We actually met that character later down the road, and his name was Jay Bishop, a female who had like kind of darker brunette hair and brown eyes. And it was getting pretty heated with the conversation with Amanda. You could tell she was trying to keep her calm. She wasn't like reciprocating the I guess the aggressiveness that she was receiving. But one of the guys saw these group of boys that were just kind of sitting there watching on their bikes and realized that, okay, there's an audience. It's time to back away. So how did that make your character feel at that time as a kid when he witnessed that?
Definitely just scared shitless, probably just frozen in his tracks. Definitely wasn't like a tough kid by any means. So, he was just totally scared.
Yeah. And I'm sure maybe he probably had, I wouldn't know, you would be the one to decide, but like some passive fist qualities due to like the Christian upbringing he had or something to that extent,
Absolutely.
All right. Gotcha. So when she unfortunately died, what kind of impact did that have on Wayne's life?
He was pretty gutted over it. That was like the one person who really believed in him, and she was taken in such a brutal way, something that he would have never even imagined. And that was, the one like encouraging voice he kind of had in his life. So, when she when she was taken, that was set off.
Was a gut punch?
Yes, exactly.
Gotcha. So what happened with Wayne after like kind of the boys stopped hanging out? Because again, I'll mention again how like it was, how as far as the characters can remember, they just, it is what is happened after boys. After the funeral, they went their own ways. So what happened with Wayne? But anyways, after all that happened up until 1987.
So he attends high school after the summer program. Around his junior year, he begins working at a local gas station. He's like still kind of carrying on his troublemaking behavior, and it's like still causing damage between himself and his dad. So around 1982, when Wayne is 19, his father becomes very ill. So Wayne tries to make amends. He tries to pretty much repair this like damaged relationship he had with his dad. But whether because of just like stubbornness or because of illness, his dad ultimately never reconciles with him. So when his dad passes away, Wayne carries this like heavy guilt for letting his father down. So, and then let's see, the next year when Wayne is 20, his brother actually commits suicide. And so that is just like another just intense blow to Wayne's life. It's just like the past like few years have just been so full of loss and people around him just dying.
And you described it really well when we were talking via email doing the background about how basically, because at first I misinterpreted what you're trying to convey when you said that like it's been a haze, and I was thinking, oh, you mean like alcohol and drugs, and you're like, no, it's pretty much just like a depressive, haze, a loss where it's just like, I take it like a sense of monotony. I can totally picture like going to work at that gas station, getting off work. You know what I mean? Just it being like this.
It's like his life has kind of been put on hold by like all this crazy stuff that's happened in the, past few years.
Now, we can explore this in the future sessions or whatever. Have you nailed down like exactly why your brother, Wayne's brother took his life, or is that something you'd want? We could always figure out later. It's not, if you don't have the answer now, don't worry about it.
It's something I definitely want to figure out later.
Okay, tracking. We could do that. That sounds like definitely a lot of doors that could be open for character development. Next is you, Andrew. Tell us about your character, and about when he was a boy up until he met Amanda.
So my character Chayton, he had an abusive family. His father was pretty physical. And this kind of thing made him act out a lot, and he would break into like schools and public buildings and just vandalize, tag things. And he would have been enrolled by his mom, trying to get him out of the home, because she might not have been able to really do anything about it at the time, but she could at least get him out of the situation. That's how he probably would have ended up with everyone else. And
you mentioned that he's a Native American character too, right? Of Dakota, right?
Yeah, his mom would be Dakota, and his dad was a white man, so he was mixed blood. So he didn't really know a whole lot about his background until after everything else.
Gotcha.
So growing up, he didn't know a whole lot about it.
Yeah, so he was kind of, I understand. And really, and for the players and for people watching, like North Dakota is a weird dynamic. I mentioned it in the intro, like, well, not nowadays, not like modern times, but especially in the like 60s, 70s and 80s. It was like you're either white or you're like Native American. Those were like the two options, but it was even more embedded, like the different, I guess, backgrounds that you had as like a Caucasian. So like, like one thing, like Germans didn't get along with Norwegians, you know what I mean? And it sounds really kind of goofy when we, modern day when we talk about that, but it was really like, I remember I had a 5th grade teacher, because I lived there for like 3 or 4 years as a kid, who had a calendar that had just jokes every day about Norwegians. It was like you take one off and you read to the class, and it was like, you're like, holy cow, like, and like where I'm of German and Italian background, and both my parents are from Bismarck, and like, yeah, you were Italian from, and it was just even crazier, you know what I mean? And then my mom married a German guy, which was like sacrilege to my grandparents. It took them like 5 years to get used to the fact, so this is how they culturally thought. So to be a kid of mixed race back then, especially, you know what I mean? It's a really
He would have
tough,
been in between two different worlds.
It totally 100%. That's the best way to describe it right there. So what kind of impact did Amanda have on Che and when he was in this camp?
Well, she was the first person to really be a positive role model and show him that people can like actually care about you. His opinion of his mother, she didn't care about him, and his father, he actually beat him. So she was the very first person to show some sort of compassion. So he really looked up to her and cared.
Like an adult figure too, though, right? Like a responsible adult figure, I would take it, right? Yeah.
She was like a pillar for him,
Yeah, I like that pillar of strength. That's good stuff. So that day, and we talked about the scene already where the three people confronted her and you guys were witness. How did that make him feel at that time as a child witnessing that?
Well, he saw a lot of aggression at home, so he kind of would have gone into that like enclosed, like just shut down, things are happening. He just would have just locked all his emotions inside and just blocked it out. He wouldn't have known what to do or how to react or anything. He just kind of would have just gone into himself.
Yeah, like almost like a introverted flight or fight.
Yeah,
kind of like obviously a flight,
like
defense.
Oh, yeah.
That
I could get hit here, but better shut down.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. Yeah, what impact did her death have on him, and what was his life after the death of her until 1987?
That would have really like broke him down. It would have caused a lot of pain, and he kind of just opened up to like a school counselor eventually about what was going on and how he was feeling and like his home situation. And then that probably would have put him, they would have reported that to the authorities. They're not allowed to just keep that stuff secret, and so he eventually would have ended up after that with his grandparents on his mother's side, and that's when he would have first learned about his background and his heritage as a Lakota Sioux.
He stayed with his grandparents on the Standing Rock Reservation. That was like 50 miles south of Bismarck area. So once he was with his grandparents, and I really think, and honestly, I kind of like that aspect of. I love all the characters in here, and I like that aspect of Che and the fact that he, at least out of all that, all the, lack of a better term, fucked up shit that happened, you know what I mean? Like he was able to somehow get in touch a little with his culture, for a little bit. What happened after he moved with his grandparents there up until like 1987?
Well, he picked up a lot of his grandfather's hobbies, like hunting and fishing and things like that. He learned a lot about the outdoors and would have spent a lot of time outside and came to really enjoy being, just outside all the time. And after sometime around like high school, he would have dropped out, maybe in his senior year, and gone to work during the big oil boom that was happening at the time to try and earn some money, because he saw it as an opportunity for him to just kind of make a lot of cash and go and just live out by himself, away from people, not have to deal with the world's problems.
Especially during that oil boom, from the little I've heard about it from like relatives, and of course the natural gas boom that's going on now, a lot of people have that mentality when they go into there. Like, I'm going to go here, I'm going to work hard for 2, 3, 4 years, save all this money, and then just cash out and, I'll live the rest of my life in peace. Unfortunately, that doesn't often, you know what I mean? Nothing goes as planned most of the time for us.
And it didn't for him either. It wouldn't have gone.
So what's that didn't work out? What ended up happening with them there?
His grandmother got sick, and she needed treatments for leukemia. So he would have spent all his money on helping her. And so now he's kind of back where he ended up, like right after high school. He doesn't have a degree. He spent all the money that he earned and just kind of struggles to find work.
Gotcha. Yeah. Now he works actually, we agreed upon, he works at the Heritage Center at night doing kind of janitorial work. For those of you who don't know, so the Bismarck's the state capital of North Dakota. The center of it, like in the northern part of town, is almost like a grounds of sort, where like they have like the state capitol building, which, stupid fact, but it's the tallest capitol building in the United States. It's like more like a skyscraper than like what you would actually think of like a Washington DC architecture type. And it has a place called the Heritage Center, which is like it's a museum. It's pretty much a museum. One cool thing about the museum, especially during the 80s, is they really embraced the Native American history aspect of there. And then they also had a state library that was there too. So it's kind of like 3 buildings that kind of serve a purpose of governing and education. You know, the 2 buildings obviously deal with education. And then there's like this huge like green grass, like just like almost like a field of green grass that's around it. So you can constantly see people like flying kites and playing football or whatever, you know, just kind of in the area. And actually where Amanda Porter lives is right by there, which is like right, like one of the first streets that are right on the outside of that area. So you'd probably even at times, and we'll talk about that when we officially, you know what I mean, introduce him into the game, you know, you'll have that nagging maybe a little memory in the back of your head, or maybe that's why you feel comfortable there. Who knows, you know, we can definitely verge into that. So Mr. Michael Gray, so you're asleep at the moment and you have this dream that's kind of like a dream of it's a good dream. It's kind of a warm dream where you're actually sitting almost like you think it's on a picnic blanket, but you're in the middle of like a field that you see when you drive between towns and North Dakota, where it's like a lot of wheat fields, or just like, you know what I mean? Like it's like when you think of plains, that's what it usually is. And you're sitting on this blanket and you're sitting across from Amanda, and she's, as you last remember, you know, seeing her, and kind of in the dream, you're laughing and she's laughing. You don't quite even know what you're talking about. And you just know there's a moment where she goes and she gently, like, kind of just like strokes the side of your face with her hand. And then you wake up, and you wake up because you hear your phone ringing. But also when your phone's ringing and you're trying to, this is on a Sunday, by the way, and you're trying to like figure out what's going on around you. You've got the sun coming through your blinds, and it's almost like right on your face, like giving a kind of a warmth feeling that you almost had in that dream. So, all right, the scene's on you. The phone's ringing.
Well, I guess I'll pick it up. Hello, Michael
All
Gray
right.
here.
How's it going?
Pretty well, actually. Pretty well.
I can't seem to get a hold of Alex. I don't know what's going on. And his mom answered, and she's really hard to understand through her thick accent, but she seems a little worried. But so I thought I originally wanted to call both you guys and see if you could maybe had time to look into something for me.
Wait,
on top of what you guys already are doing. His mom is saying something like like alcohol and she's not sure. And
should I go?
I gathered he was tying one off, to be honest with you. So I don't know what's going on with that. But she said she'll leave a message. She didn't seem stressed or, you know, like she was worried, but she just seemed, I guess, more annoyed, I guess is the term I should use. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to get you all worked up there. Apologize for that. So I got 2 more names, and I'm not sure these are kids that were actually part of the group that you were at that summer camp, but I thought that maybe you could look into them and find out for me if they are, and what you can, and maybe if they're willing to be helped, maybe see if they can be put on retainer too. I'm willing to give them the same rates that I give you. If they agree, let me know, and I can shoot over a Western Union to you so you can have some cash for that. But I was wondering if you could look into that for me on top of what you're already doing. And I know I'm kind of piling this stuff on top of you, but.
Yeah, definitely some help would be appreciated.
Yeah, that's what I figured, and especially, I'm not going to lie, between us, you kind of seem more the responsible type between the 2 of you, you know. And he just seemed to chuckle a little bit. He's like, "All right, so I got 2 names for you here."
Okay,
and he's like, "One."
Shot.
Yeah, and you hear him flipping through a notebook. I got one. His name is Wayne Coleman, I believe, and he supposedly works out of. Does that name sound familiar to you?
Yeah.
So he works at a Shell station that's over there on like the south side of town, kind of, and you know the south side of town. They're kind of the seedier side a little bit, as seedy as I guess Bismarck can get, you know. And then another name is a guy named Chayton, I guess Thompson. Does that sound familiar to you?
Yeah. I think so. Definitely.
Yeah, something like, I think he's kind of a hard one to track down because the last work records we had was like from a few years ago of him working for one of those oil companies. But I think I was able to, like, and don't ask me how, but find out that he might be working at the Heritage Center. Does that play? I don't know what that place is. I don't know what it is, but, and you know, out of character, you know that the Heritage Center is the museum that's right there by the Capitol. That's just what they call the museum.
Okay, I'll check it out. Definitely. I'll tell you.
Yeah. Just let me know what
to offer.
Yeah. So have you guys came up with anything yet? Like any of the shit that I've had, you know, did anything pan out or what?
I was actually skeptical at first, but we visited Jay Bishop, you know.
Who did he end up being?
It was this Southern hick. Didn't seem very bright, but he had some useful info about the He was one of the people that confronted Amanda.
Get the fuck out of here. He really ended up being one of them?
Yeah. And he told us the name of the entire group, except it'll be pretty hard to track him down.
Oh, man. Fuck. Holy shit. Really? I can't believe that fucking even added up like that. I'm not going to lie. I just thought that would be kind of a fucking dead end there. Do you have any way to find out where, like, these other names you got, like, where they live and who they are or whatnot?
Johnny and Dora are supposed to be married and got out of state. And apparently these guys had some strange Satanist parties or whatever in this house they rented.
No, did you hear him like stutter a little bit? And he's like, you hear him flipping through his notebook again and like the click of a pen. He's like, so wait. You're telling me that? So holy shit.
That's what I was told by this guy. Okay, he wasn't very bright, so.
All right, yeah, look into that shit. This is big stuff, man. I don't, I kind of told you about what I'm writing this book about and everything, man. This isn't like something to overlook here, okay? Like, this is very real shit, man. I'm telling you. I think this has ties to like 2 different states at least, okay? So take it seriously and be careful, all right?
Yeah, I will. Don't worry.
All right. And if this is a link, like I thought would be, get with these kids, because you don't know what these kids may have remembered that you don't remember or whatever, okay? I know you're going to. I'm sorry. I'm just a little excited here. It's the New Yorker in me, but it's like, this is really starting to get legs, man. I'm out here in California finding some shit that's going to blow your fucking mind if it turns out, okay?
Okay, good luck.
All right, thank you. And he hangs up the phone.
You keep the cash coming.
What's your plan of action, Slavic, or Michael, after you found this out?
Well, I think it's time to visit my 2 old pals.
I'll let you go ahead and start thinking about what your plan is. Are you going to like go there now, or are you going to go there later, or like when do you plan to go there to try to talk to them?
I think I'd do it as soon as possible, probably.
Okay. So let me cut to, I know that Andrew, we talked about, Che works night shift there as a janitorial crew at the Heritage Center. Would you say that your character worked a night or day shift, Adam?
I would say day shift probably.
Day shift? Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and I will cut to Adam first, okay? And are you saying, Michael, that you're going to go ahead and check out the 76 station or the Shell station?
I'll open my yellow pages and find out if they have a telephone.
Yeah, there actually is a telephone. So let me I'm going to cut to Adam real quick again, okay? And then we'll take a scene with him. So Adam, you wake up. For those of you who don't know, Adam stays in a trailer that's on the south side of Bismarck there. That's kind of in a trailer park. How are your mornings? Like when you wake up, what's his routine that you can think of, or what? How does he usually handle himself before he heads off to work?
Well, he probably like rolls out of bed. The place is a total mess. It's got like a pyramid of beer cans and some dirty plates and some trash he probably should have taken out last week. And he just kind of like rolls out of the bed and maybe like washes his face in the sink or something and tries to get himself ready. Not somebody who takes too much pride in his appearance, I guess.
Talking about personal appearance and everything, we didn't even really discuss what he looks like as an adult. So what does he look like as an adult for the most part?
Yeah, all right. I would say he's kind of like a flannel and work boots kind of guy. Like he has long hair still. Probably keeps it back in like a ponytail just for like convenience. We'll say it's like brown.
Any facial hair, anything like that, or clean shaven, or?
I don't know. I was thinking maybe like an '80s mustache, but yeah, we'll
like
say he has like a like
a handlebar mustache or like a normal one, because no character has
just
a mustache.
Like a normal one.
Okay, that's cool, because I was like, who's gonna have the first '80s stash? There was
like
no
the kind my dad had in the '80s. It's just kind of like this, you know.
Yeah, my dad had that too. That never like when they did shave it, you're like, who's this stranger? You know what I mean? Like I only remember my dad like shaving his mustache like twice, you know. But it's like, yeah, who's this stranger? Get out of my house, man. So all right, cool stuff. As you're getting out of your trailer, what does he drive, by the way? Like what kind of vehicle does he drive?
Just like a total piece of shit. Like never knows if it's gonna actually start. He's got his fingers crossed every time he turns the ignition, because you know, it's like especially if it's like cold out, the battery's probably going to be dead, or you know, some problem.
It's a pain in the ass in the winter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Total fucking I can feel you there. All right, so as you get out, mind you, again, a reminder, everyone's like early September, so it's not quite snow. It might snow like in a month and a half, but it's starting to get fall. It's like 50, 60 degree weather. As you're stepping out of your trailer, you know, and this trailer is almost like a shell that surrounds who you are, constantly reminds you like the misery you're in. I mean, just even like every footstep, every creak. I mean, even like just like it feels like almost like turning off the faucet and turning on the faucet like shakes the whole thing and like reverberates throughout it. You know, it's almost like you enjoy going to work because it's like breaking yourself out of the shell of misery that you're in there. So when you step out and you step on like this sagging front top step of the 3 steps that kind of have like this astroturf like staple to it to make it look fancier than your average normal sagging wooden step, you step off it, you step onto the concrete, and you look towards your you know, lack of a better term, piece of shit car that's sitting there, and you see your neighbor who you've usually, if you do talk to anyone, I would take it, you're not too sociable nowadays, usually talk to this guy. He's like in his mid 50s, he's probably 300 plus pounds, and he seems to like always be sitting from like the moment he wakes up, and I'd say it's about like 9 in the morning right now, to like midnight. He's sitting there just drinking like beer after beer after beer. Never seems to be intoxicated, but just seems to like permanently be seated there. His name is Bruce. He collects a disability check from the state all the time. You know that his wife passed away like 5 years earlier from like a heart attack, or, you know, she was pretty obese herself. You know, he just kind of is always seems to be I guess like a figure that you see every morning when walking out, and he just kind of like nods to you, and he has like a truck driver's cap on. He just kind of like, you know, just lifts the brim up a little bit as you're getting into your car, and he's like, "Morning, how you doing, sunshine?"
How's it going, Bruce?
Good. Going to fucking make the man more money, aren't you?
Oh, you bet.
You try that, sign up for that Social Security disability shit like I told you about?
I'll look into it.
All right. You want one for the road? And he kind of like packing a case of beer that he has next to his chair there.
I'll try to politely refuse. No, thank you. Little
All
early
right.
for me.
Yeah. When you get older, you'll realize the importance of it. It makes everything nice and easier to deal with, man. Nice and easier to deal with. And he just sits there and he takes another sip of his Budweiser that's in the can there. So as you get in your car, you're driving to work. Is this the same, like, like you said, and I really loved it how you summed up your characters. It's like everything, and not because it's the world of darkness, but just everything's just gray and monotone to you when you're going to work. You know, the same route to work. You get to work. You come up to the Shell station. You have this pimply faced kid who's like 16, 17, reminds you of you when you first started working there, who was working nights. He's eager to let you go. He's all full of spunk and dreams, and you just know that eventually he's probably just going to be in your shoes in the future. And it can't help but slightly probably grate on you a little bit that this guy, you know, is still full of optimism. As you get everything, you know, handled over, you start making you're just at the point where you're starting to make the fresh pots of coffee in there. You hear the phone ring, and that's actually you, Slavic, calling him. So go ahead. Scene's on you guys.
Okay, I'll pick up the phone. Shell, I don't know what street it is, but whatever street, Shell station. Wayne speaking.
Wayne, are you Wayne Coleman by any chance?
Yeah, I'm him.
Hey, this is Michael Gray. Remember me? From that youth, that camp for troubled youths.
And as you're sitting there on the phone, and I just want to interject real quick, and you hear that name and you hear this, it's just kind of like a slap across your face. It's almost like the gray monotone of everything around you just kind of brightens a little bit, like the orange coffee handle for the decaf that you're like sitting there about to make goes from being like a disgusting, like a rotten orange to like bright and vibrant orange. And you're just kind of like a sense of like euphoria is the word I think of. Like, just like almost like you take a deep breath and you're exhaling that feeling that comes out just from hearing that little thing. But go ahead, scene's on you guys.
Yeah, that sounds really familiar. I haven't thought of you in a really long time. What can I help you with?
Yeah. Okay, this might seem a little bit weird, so it'd probably be better to explain in person. I just wanted to make sure you're actually working there. But I got a call from this big shot newspaper reporter Terry Murphy from New York, and he has us looking into the death of Amanda, because he thinks it's somehow connected to the Son of Sam murders.
And that's another like, bam, you know what I mean? It's almost like you're not saying it happens a lot to me, but when you get smacked by a female and she just doesn't do it once, you know what I mean? It's like double whammy.
I know
it's
it
almost
sounds
like,
weird. I know it sounds weird, but he's paying really well. He pays up front, and it's just something you can do. It's not like you have to leave your job or anything. Just something to do on the side.
Yeah. You should come down here. So like I think when Wayne like hears Amanda being mentioned, he just kind of has like this total like sense of shock. It's just like, but he just desperately like would want to be involved in something that is just not this. So he's not even going to question it.
Yeah, because it's like this is probably the oddest phone call you ever received in your life, other than probably like your father or brother's death. Well, probably even odder because it's so out of left field. Like, hey, dead chick money. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, yeah. So yeah, definitely something you're in shock and you'd probably want to talk in person. Definitely, I can see that. So, all right, scene's on you guys again. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. So when's the end of your shift? We could go grab a beer and I'll tell you all about it.
Sorry, Chris, what time is it right now? Like, is it
It's like 9:30, 10.
Yeah.
I would say you probably get off like at 3, 4 or something like that,
Okay, yeah. So I get off at about 4:00. I can meet you wherever.
Okay. I'll probably mention Alex's bar.
The main bar, yeah. So
yeah, I've heard of it. I can go there.
See you around 8.
All right, it's a plan. Wayne has like a sense of excitement about trying to get to the bottom of this. Definitely something he's going to think about for the rest of his shift, Like,
yeah, he's like making coffee full of energy, and he thinks like an hour's gone by, and he looks, it's only been like 2 minutes. He's like, shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like one of those days.
All right, Mr. Michael, you got one down, setting up at a meeting. What's your next plan of action?
Well, next plan of action, I'll call into the Heritage Museum.
All right, you call the Heritage Museum, and you get a reception like, Bismarck Heritage Center. This is Samantha. How may I direct your call?
Hey, Samantha. I'm looking for if an old friend of mine works at the museum. I think he was working as a janitor. His name's Chayton.
Yeah, may I ask who this is on the line, please?
Oh, yeah, this is Michael Gray.
Okay, let me see.
Police officer here in Bismarck.
Oh, you're with the Bismarck PD? Okay, yeah. Let me look here real quick. And you see her like flipping, no keyboard clacking, but like Rolodex flipping. And you said he was with the janitorial staff, you said?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, yeah, I have him here. Now, we're not allowed to give out numbers, but his shift starts like around like 6. Would that be okay? I mean, that's all I can really give you there.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Thank you.
All right, thank you. She hangs up on you. Shay, tell me about how's your normal day, seeing that you work at night and everything like that. Like, do you wake up later in the day or do you wake up early? Or tell us a little bit about where he lives and what's going on right now.
Well, as far as where he lives, he probably has like a dingy apartment or like a trailer or something, not like right in the middle of everything. So he has a little bit of a drive to get to the Heritage Center. He'd be a later. He'd get up like in the afternoon probably. So if he's starting at 6, I'd say he's probably going to get up like 3, 4 in the afternoon, trying to sleep as much as he can during the day.
All right, yeah. So when he gets up, he pretty much just eats a meal and heads to work, kind of thing. And what does he drive?
He's actually inherited like his dad's like build, so he's actually kind of tall and stocky, but dark hair, dark eyed, brown skin, Native American man, has a really imposing kind of figure. Because he's takes care of himself. He loves the outdoors. He's outside all the time. He does a lot of hard labor. So he's actually a very well built person. But he's kind of always dressed like in a like dirty jeans, dirty boots. He drives a crappy 80s Jeep. Nothing extravagant. Just gets him wherever he needs to go, and also can haul some stuff if he needs to.
Yeah, like everything, like wardrobe to vehicle, just is something that serves a purpose. It's not
Practical.
anything more than like practical. Exactly. Very good. So is like, does he have a shorter hair, long hair, like facial feature or facial hair, anything to that extent?
He probably has short hair because working on an oil rig, he would have had to keep it cut short. It could be a hazard, so he keeps it short out of habit now.
Okay, I like that, definitely. No mustache, unfortunately, I guess, but that I would have given you 100 XP.
I mean, he's a Native American man.
I know, right? Yeah. It doesn't grow in that thick for him, definitely. Yeah, well, at least we got one player that has a thick 80s mustache, So
I thought about it. I did.
Usually you drive. It's actually kind of a tranquil drive there because, like, the state is really odd setup because it's not like, I've lived in multiple states out of character. I've lived in multiple states, when I was in the military and whatever, seen some state capitals. And usually they're kind of like a hub of activity, I guess. You know what I mean? Like where's constantly people on the steps, just out of character, like the Denver, or Colorado capital in Denver, like at night, there's like homeless people on the steps. It's really an odd thing where in North Dakota, it's almost like a national, I don't want to say national park, but it's almost like a park ground more than anything else. You know what I mean? Like you have these 3 buildings and you just have like acres of grass around them. Not like it's in the middle of nowhere because there's like the city's built around that too. But it's actually like when you start driving onto the Capitol grounds, you're driving on a road and you see like green grass field, that's well manicured, you know what I mean? And you can see like people just sitting there reading a book on a blanket or just like kids flying a kite, or something to that extent. So it's almost like always being like outdoors, but being in the middle of the city in a way, Before I continue on, what's his feelings of working in the Heritage Center with that has such a large emphasis on Native American history? Does he enjoy being there? Is it something that kind of like brings him peace, or is it just a job that gives him money to give him the lifestyle that he wants?
Well, he'd probably have some mixed feelings about it. It's it reminds him a lot about his family, his grandparents, and everything, and being his time living with them. But at the same time, it's really just something that he uses to live. He's just, anxiously waiting for the day. Well, maybe the oil boom will pick back up. He can go out and make some money, that kind of thing. It's just motivation for him to just keep moving for now.
Gotcha, understand. So usually when you walk up to the entrance of the Heritage Center, by the way, all these buildings are made of like a concrete colored, I guess, I don't want to say stucco, but they're like grayish, buildings, they're not like painted or anything to that extent. Have a very almost like a Capitol feeling in that sense, where it's the same kind of stone color. When you're walking towards there, it's starting to get, especially this time of the year, around 5:36, it starts to get dusk, darker. And you see like a warming light that comes behind these glass sliding doors that actually were just installed like a few years ago that, motion censored, where you walk in and there's kind of like a front desk. It's a hallway that's probably like 20 feet and you go straight forward for about like 30 feet and there's the desk there. And then like there's like it splits 2 hallways where the museum actually starts, to kind of, different paths that go around to different things. But usually a site that you're used to is there's a librarian who works at the Capitol Library and kind of sits there and smokes his pipe when he's getting off work. And he says he's getting off work, but he'll usually hang around the library because he's like a 50-year-old man. His name is Sidney. The years have put some pounds on him. He wears thick glasses. He's clean shaven and has like a gray comb over for his hair that really doesn't do the purpose a comb over is supposed to do. He's not really hiding much because it's like he's not vain, you know what I mean? But it's an old habit that he's trying to, he does there. He wears like a tweed jacket, has like the patches on there. You kind of get the sense because of, just how your outlook in life that he does it to look more intellectual. But in the end, he's just a librarian, who works at the state library. But he's a really nice guy. And this guy constantly is always trying to spark conversations with you when you go out to take like your 10-minute break or whatever about like trying to, get your GED or, you know what I mean? Not relying so much on manual labor, but maybe starting to go down a path of education, and trying to educate yourself, saying that it's not too late and anything to that effect. Those are your character, and maybe they're very like one-sided conversations with him, or saying more things than you maybe saying a couple word responses. I'm not sure, we can figured that out. But he's sitting there smoking a pipe there. And he's trying to clean it out as he sees you walking up. And he kind of, Che! And he looks at you. He's like, another busy day of work, huh? How's it going in your life, young man?
Same old, same old. How about you?
You know, I'm happy. Life is good. Weather's getting a little colder. And you see him he's putting tobacco and he's, packing it in there. He lights it and he's like, oh, and he like sits back. And he's kind of he's over eccentric a little bit. Everything, you almost get the feel like he's like playing a role in the movie, he thinks, but so have you thought about going to get your GED yet? Or is this gonna, when you're my age, well, I'm just saying, you keep talking about the oil boom is going to happen again. You keep talking about your easy out that's going to get you the life that you want. And I'm trying to tell you that if you just simply, and I'm not saying, and I know you're a hard worker, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying if you direct that work and channel it to this end, you could sit out there and write books, or you could come and teach at, University of Mary or something, and then go back to your log cabin where you're left by yourself and do whatever you want to do instead of seeing this view every night. I mean, how old are you? You're 23, 24, you told me? You should go be meeting ladies instead of coming to work every night here. Don't you want to go meet the ladies and go to like the main bar or whatever people your age do?
Hey, believe it or not, I do have a life. Just because it doesn't revolve around books.
Or women. Or partying. Or anything that your people do. You know what I mean? Your age do. But I like your company. I mean, you can keep living that way. I love talking to you. You're a good conversation and everything. You're pretty witty. I hate to see you. I just don't want to see you fall in the trap that so many in this town fall into, Che.
I appreciate your concern, but I got to get back to work, man. I got to go clock in.
All right.
Hey,
well, you know how to find me
if
if you want to talk to me. Yeah. I'm down. I'll keep you to that. All right. I got some more stuff to put in, and I really don't want to go home anyways. It's kind of lonely there. So you find me if you need me. Okay.
All right, Cindy.
So as you're walking in, and we're gonna cut to Slavic. I take it, Michael, you went there and you're kind of sitting there waiting for him.
Yeah.
Well, how it is basically I described the front desk, and there's kind of like couch, but where they take like 3 plastic chairs, they kind of mold them together, and they have like the armrest in the middle where people could sit there while they're waiting. There's like a set of 3 chairs there by the desk where people are waiting for someone or whatever. I don't know if you want to sit there, if you want to stand. There's kind of like a security guard too, who's just like sitting there reading a magazine, and he keeps reading a People magazine. He's looking at it, and he's looking at you, and then he's looking at it. And then he looks at you. And he looks at it because people are kind of nosy in that area sometimes, All right. And you see a figure come walking up which is how Andrew described Che. He sits there and talks to a figure who's sitting there smoking a pipe. You see then the figure start walking towards the doors. As the door open up, you see the guy with the pipe walks off. He looks like he might be heading towards either the Capitol or the library. And then you see this figure come walking in right now. Is he wearing like a janitorial suit, would you say? I would say he probably is, like an olive green janitorial suit.
Like one of those jumpsuits.
You see him coming up, Michael, and you're kind of like almost like, I don't know if you've ever had this experience or any of you guys had this experience, but especially you, Slavic, yet where like the last time you saw someone was like 10 years ago. Like you saw someone as a kid. And it happens with family, I guess, a lot. You're like Johnny cousin here, and then they move away and you see him like 10 years later and you're like, oh, I can recognize you, but like you're just kind of taken aback how much they fundamentally have, changed with whatever, happens in 10 years, that's the kind of feeling you get. That's the kind of feeling you get right now when you see Che walking up for a second. You're like, who the hell? And then, oh, wow. You can recognize that it's him, definitely. So the scene's on you guys.
Yeah, I'll probably wave at him and, hey, Che.
I'll look kind of confused. Someone I don't recognize immediately calling me my name.
It's me, Michael Gray.
Yeah.
Remember from way back?
I'll kind of stop and think and, like a look of realization, Like, wow, what are you doing here, man? I haven't seen you in a long time.
Yeah, this is gonna sound really weird, but first, I just wanna. How you doing?
I'm all right. What's this about?
Okay, right. So you probably know I wouldn't drop by just to meet a friend from my childhood. I'm here because I got contacted by a news reporter from New York, some kind of big shot by the name of Terry Murphy.
Okay.
he's looking into Amanda's murder. He thinks it might be some in relation to the Son of Sam murders, some sort of Satanist cult thing.
What?
I know this sounds really, really strange, but
Yeah, really strange.
Me and Alex were actually, Alex Sokolov, were actually
That's another blast
looking into it. Because, even if we didn't believe it, his offer was too good to pass up. He pays $500 a month up front.
For what?
And for us investigating this whole mess. We actually, about those people we met who were harassing Amanda? We actually interviewed one of them.
This is like a powerful scene in the fact that, like, Michael has been reacquainted with this stuff. And, like, this is just, like, one bombardment after, playing it great. Like, what the fuck? Like, all these memories are starting to come back, definitely. Especially, I'm sure, the 3-person thing. But go ahead.
Yeah, Che would be kind of, like, thinking about the words, like, over before he says anything. So he's, like, talking about, that when Amanda was murdered and those people that were confronted him. And he'd be like, wait, I do remember that.
I know this is probably, and I know it is a lot to take in. It really was when, the reporter met me and Alex and told us all about this and all about his investigation. But, I just wanted to be upfront with you and, if you wanted to know if you wanted to, help out, you'd of course be paid.
So what does it entail? What exactly are you asking?
So basically we're investigating the murder, what happened, the people around it, who they were, what they were doing.
That's a lot to take in, Michael.
I know.
How about this? I have to get to work, okay? How about we just talk about this afterwards, after my shift?
Yeah.
Can we do
that? Yeah, exactly. Good. Oh, when do you get off?
What time is it now?
6. So we can say maybe like midnight, 11 midnight. Does that sound good? Say this is like a part-time job, would you say, or?
Yeah, that'll work. Yeah. So yeah, I'll get off at midnight. Cool. I can meet you somewhere.
Yeah, I'm actually meeting Wayne Coleman at 8 at the main bar. Maybe we'll be there still at midnight, so you can find us there.
Yeah, they'll be open. Okay. I'll probably need a drink while I process all this.
Yeah, I know I need.
You are right now, the scene is on you, Wayne. You got off work. I take it you're heading over. What are you going to do? Because you got a couple hours to kill before you have to go to the main bar.
So I have a couple hours. I guess I'll head back to the trailer for a little bit. He's probably, he is really just like nervously excited, wants to figure out what's going on. He's excited to reconnect with this person he hasn't thought about in so many years.
I love that because like one character has a sense of dread, you know what I mean? Like two characters, and actually yours is the reverse. It's almost like a pep in your step, walking on sunshine. You know what I mean? Moment. You know? That's pretty awesome. So as you roll up to your vehicle and your vehicle to the trailer, you get out of the car and Bruce is still sitting there drinking. He has a little radio that's playing some country western. He sees you and he gives you like a raised eyebrow look, and he's like, "What, you got a hot date or something there?" And he kind of like motions to he always has a second chair laid out for you, like when you get back, and he kind of motions towards the chair.
No, Bruce, it's not a hot date. I'm just meeting an old friend.
Damn, I haven't seen you this happy in a while. And he kind of like tosses you a beer.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually take it, and I'm gonna drink it down pretty fast.
Damn, you're ready to party. That's good, man. I'm glad to see you like this. I'm fucking for a while there. Sometimes you have me worried, to be honest with you, man. Holy shit. So tell me about this friend, man. Is it a chick? I bet it's a fucking chick, huh?
Just an old friend from camp when I was a kid. Somebody I haven't thought of in a really long time, actually.
Damn. Why that's cool. So I take it you were good friends and everything. Is that why you're sitting here all having ants in your pants and everything?
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Well, that's good. I mean, shit, man. Don't go forget about me now.
So yeah, I'm just gonna kind of like like when you kind of just want to like cut the conversation with your neighbor, but they're kind of just like going on about stuff. He's gonna go in and maybe get out of his like mechanic shirt or whatever and just put on his regular clothes, probably just like flannel and jeans or whatever, and maybe like a denim jacket or something like that, and maybe he'll just hang back, watch TV or something. He's just like really excited.
Yeah, as you're watching the TV, it's really hard for you to concentrate on what's even being said, just because your mind's wandering and you're so excited and you're sitting there and you're looking at your watch or whatever, the cheap clock you have, that brain noise pulls you out of the one escape you have from life. It just sits there and slides. It's not even digital. It's the old school kind, and just slides, and you're sitting there like, God damn it. And you're looking at the TV and this doesn't make it some cheesy 80s sitcom on there. And it's a Sunday night and you're just like, fuck. And finally you look and you're just like, fuck it. It's a half hour early. I don't give a shit. I'm going to go. You go. Drive is just like, of course, every light seems to be taking longer than it normally does. And you're sitting there fucking hitting the damn stereo, listening, I'm sure, to some Sabbath or Zeppelin or some Motley Crue maybe for a little risque.
Hey, it's the 80s.
Yeah, it's the 80s. You finally drive up to the main bar, which is on Main Street. You guys know it it's like kind of the one bar where like the kind of blue collar types stay out, not really criminal types, but kind of the rougher crowd. I don't know, not even rougher, but just blue collar folks hang out at. You step inside there, you push the doors open, and right away you smell the cigarette smoke and everything like that. It's not too crowded on a Sunday night, but let's say there's about like 8 to 10 people in there. You go in there. Are you already there, Michael?
Yeah, I think Michael would be there like a half an hour early and orders a pitcher of beer or something, so there'd be already something on the table.
All right. So describe, and just for real quick, describe Michael again, how he looks, like his appearance real quick.
Yeah, Mike's 6'1", weighs 160 pounds, has brown hair, gray eyes, and, he's a pretty athletic guy.
And he's clean cut, right?
Yeah, clean cut.
You could tell, from looking at him, that he's probably a cop or something like that. I mean, just from if someone say, "Oh, there's a cop," you know what I mean? Does he have that look, or?
Yeah, definitely that look. Okay.
All right, got you. So as you walk in, Wayne, you see, you're kind of scanning the room because you really don't know what this guy looks like, and as you scan, you're like, nope, not him. And you see his figure who kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. Not, you know what I mean? That's he's a little too clean cut, and you're just at that moment. You kind of realize that this is the kid that you knew at one point. You, Michael, you look, like, wow, it's hard for you to recognize the same kid. I mean, he kind of has longer hair, but this guy has like a thick mustache, you know what I mean? And he, the age and everything, it takes you a second to recognize him. But go ahead, the scene's on you guys.
So once I see Mike, I'm going to kind of just pace over to his table.
Hey, Wayne.
Hey, Mike, what's up?
Probably shake his hand.
Oh, okay, yeah, we'll shake. So I'll kind of just pull a glass towards myself, maybe grab the ashtray from the middle of the table, pull it close to myself, and I'm just gonna lean in and just get ready for him to just tell me what's going on.
Okay.
And you can see he's really excited, Michael. You can see this guy's it has I don't know, exudes an air of fucking hyperness, motivation. He looks very motivated. Would I be incorrect in that assertion there, Adam? That Wayne is looks motivated, he's full of purpose right now, or how would you describe
Yeah, I would say that sounds about right. He's a guy who lives a pretty monotonous life, and he's excited to be out of the house, to be reconnecting with an old friend. I mean, even though it is over a topic that's maybe kind of a sore subject, but for some reason that just is kind of pushed away by the fact that he's doing something.
So would intensity be a right adjective then to use? He looks intense, or does he just kind of look
maybe just anxious?
Anxious. Good. Okay, that's a good description. I like that. All right, scene's on you guys. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You seem eager. I'm gonna be honest with you. When me and Alex heard the pitch, we were really skeptical, but we could have used the money, so we said yes. And after we found out some interesting stuff, and we really got into it.
So what are you guys trying to get to the bottom of?
Basically, this reporter guy, Terry Murphy, is writing a book about these satanic murders he thinks are happening, that it's connected all to the Son of Sam murders, some kind of satanic cult. and he's paying us to, look into it. We actually saw, one of the people who confronted Amanda, Jay Bishop, and he told us about the other dudes who were involved in that. And he told us about these strange parties they were having, and it was all kind of crazy, all satanic symbolism and lots of drugs, stuff like that.
I think so. Like when Wayne hears you mention like the word Satanism, he just kind of is taken back a little bit. He definitely holds like a superstition about that kind of stuff, and I don't know if he's just like he's that kind of takes him back a little bit. He's like, whoa.
Look, I'm not saying you have to believe this or not believe this. I'm just saying what we've gathered so far.
Hello, folks. Have you ever wished you could have an easy way to find gameplay videos and podcasts, or just media in general that deals with your favorite White Wolf role-playing games? Or have you ever wished you could find a forum to share gameplay that you have recorded, one which wouldn't be drowned out by random posts and discussion, so that your media could get the attention you want? Well, we have the answer for you in a Facebook group we run called White Wolf RPGs Gameplay and Media. The group is specifically ran with the sole intent of it being a one-stop shop for people to view or share media involving the games we all love. We take thorough steps to ensure the page does not become cluttered and is easy to traverse. We are currently over 1,000 members strong, and we are continuing to rapidly grow, with new media being shared every day. Stop on by. We hope to see you there.